guys, what's up? It's your girl Grace Torie, and I'm back with a whole new podcast episode. In today's episode, I thought it would be a great idea to just kind of talk you guys through my monthly reset routine. This is how I do my best to kind of set myself up for success and prepare for the new month so that there's not any surprises as much as possible. I know that there's still some things that are going to come along, but I'm definitely a planner, so I like to do as much as I can to set myself up for success. So if you guys were kind of looking for a monthly reset routine or felt like you needed, you know, a new way to welcome in the month, this is how I do it. Some of it's spiritual, some of it's more physical and organization. So there's a little bit of everything in there for you guys. So I'm really excited to break this down for you. Before we do get into the episode, I do want to give my life update. I know I'm remembering this time. So last time I uploaded a podcast, I was obviously a little bit on the sicker side. I was definitely sick. Did you hear that? Okay. I was definitely feeling a little bit sick, a lot of bit sick. So it was not my best episode, but I want to get it out for you guys, and I'm glad that I did. I was on like day 4 of antibiotics, so I'm on like day 6 now. We're feeling a lot better. But that being said, I just mainly slept. I did start doing hot girl walks. I've done 2. I'm not gonna get to it today just because I have too much happening. I'm gonna be going up to my hometown or home city for my best friend's birthday, and we're going out to dinner, and I'm really, really excited. My family's also coming to buy a car, so I'm gonna go to lunch with them, and then we're gonna go to the dealership. So it's gonna be a really good day. I am super excited. I'm still waiting to hear if we get to go to Cleveland in a couple weeks, but I really, really hope that we get to do that as well. But things are going well, I think. There's some things I'm stressed about, but we're definitely focusing on the positives. I've also been really focusing on like TikTok, my personal and that girl, as well as my dogs. If you didn't know, my dogs are like low-key TikTok famous. They have like 20,000 followers, more followers than I have on anything. So I've been trying to post on there more. I've been trying to get that girl going. I've also started a Pinterest because apparently the Pinterest Creator Fund is like really great right now, and I already try to do a lot of Pinteresty stuff. So I was like, wait, why haven't I been doing this already? So I've been posting on there. So it's just the same username as my Instagram if you want to check that out, but I'll have all of the links down below in the show notes. So I think that's pretty much it for updates. I'm really excited for this new month. I think that the new moon was really in tune with what I'm feeling. It was in Leo, so it just basically was saying like this is the end of an era and the beginning of a new creative era. Some creative projects are going to come to fruition, and obviously that's what I'm really excited about with this podcast, as well as the social media I was talking about, and some, you know, just tapping into that creativity, photography, podcasting, all of the things that I'm interested in. I'm really excited for that, so I've been gearing up for that. But without further ado, I think let's just go ahead and jump on into the routine. So the first thing I do, just because it's my favorite thing, so I can't wait, is I create a Pinterest vision board. So I go on Pinterest, I create a board called the month and then 2022. So this one is August 2022 if you want to go check that out on my Pinterest. But I just pin everything that I am feeling for the month. So for this month, I really wanted to focus on my podcast. I really want to focus on friends, since a lot of my friends are coming back from summer vacation, and then just like grinding and getting my career going. So those 3 things were really big. So I tried to find pictures that were symbolic of that. Another thing I focused on was health. So like to show that, one picture for health was like a girl going on a hot girl walk, and then for career it was a girl wearing a suit. So like things that may not be obvious to everyone but are very symbolic to me. So that was what I focused on. I put a couple quotes in there. I always post my vision boards on my TikTok, so I posted that. But also it's on my Pinterest, and it really just gets me excited for the month, gets me ready, gets me thinking about what goals I want to set. So that's the first thing I do, and then next I write out a goal sheet. Sometimes I'll make a TikTok of it just to kind of hold myself accountable, and sometimes I'll just write them out. But all my big goals, so whether that's health, so for I want to do more hot girl walks and improve my time, work, I have a lot of work goals this month, and then personal goals, I outline all of those. And it could be anything from going out on a date twice a month, because we do get really busy with work and we don't end up setting intentional time for dates at the end of the day. So I want to why am I like stuttering so much? I want to dedicate more time to that. Another example is just eating out less. I try to eat out less, but it never really, by the end of the month we kind of fall out a lot, so that's one thing that we're working on. Just things like that. I mean, you know, your goals can be anything. I try personally not to do numeric goals, but there's some things that I like to have numeric goals anyway. Like for follower counts, it's better to not do a numeric goal if you don't have to. Like say, oh, I want my job to be more fulfilling or things like that, so that it's less focused on the numbers and more focused on how you feel and what's making you happy. But for the podcast specifically, I do like to have numericals outlined since it's so new. So I use ClickUp for that. I have a ClickUp where I put all of my content for Grace Torie as well as That Girl. I have a calendar on there, and then I also outline goals. I outline which episodes I'm gonna put for the month. So there's like a to-do list, and then there's like a content area. It's really hard to explain. I can do a YouTube video on that on my personal if you really wanted me to, but since like this is a podcast, I'm not gonna try and like really go too in depth, but it's definitely something that's really helpful for content creation. And then you can also put goals on there, and it helps you like kind of benchmark them. So my goals for this past month were for YouTube subscribers, clicks on Linktree, and then also listeners on the podcast overall. So typically I try not to do numeric values, but like I said, since the podcast was so new, it was something that was probably easiest. But like for my Instagram, I try to do things like get a certain number of posts up, or post once a week, or post more Pinteresty content, I guess, so to speak. So things that are kind of numeric but are more geared towards me and less of other people. So like how many people listen to my podcast, I can promote it a ton, but at the end of the day, it's up to those people to listen to it. So I try not to do things like that, if that makes sense. But ClickUp is definitely helpful if you are looking for a way to organize your life. It's free, I use it, and it's honestly great. And I love just hitting my goals because it has confetti and it's a fun time. Also, I do consider any life changes and prepare myself mentally, spiritually, and physically. So August, let's see, there's probably gonna be a career change. There's probably gonna be more socialization and less isolation in terms of like less time to sit at home. Things are gonna get a little bit busier and pick up with the fall, as well as making more time for friends. So I've tried to like mentally prepare myself in the sense of like knowing that I'm not gonna be home as much, and then physically I'm not gonna be home as much, so getting some things off my to-do list out of the way, like cleaning, which I'm gonna get into, and doing things that I would do at home typically, or you know, spending time with the dogs, since once things pick up I may not be able to do that as much. So just trying to get ready for that. I also try to prepare spiritually by just trying to align with myself. That's been a huge goal for this month, is just aligning with myself more, because I feel very disconnected with myself and with my purpose. I think I mentioned this. So I just, you know, I mentioned in a previous podcast, but trying to find my alignment within myself and maybe working to protect myself more so that my energy isn't as open as I go into this time where I'm around more people, and I want to be more intentional with that. So some things there. Another thing that is huge, where I probably spend most of my time, is deep cleaning the house. So there's cleaning the house, which I clean my house every Friday, and then I try and pick up little things here and there throughout the week. But I guess the Friday before the end of the month, or the weekend before the end of the month, I try to completely deep clean the house. So I scrub out the sink, I try and clean the oven. I have a story about that. That did not go well. You know, little things like clean the trash cans, make sure laundry is completely caught up. I try to wash my couch cushions, like the covers, twice a month, so I'll do that. Replace any toothbrushes or anything, scrub the counters. Anything that really needs done that you don't do on a weekly basis, like that deep cleaning, scrub the stovetop, I mean, literally anything, I do it. I get really, really deep. I want to make sure my house is sparkling because I want to remove any energy from the previous month that no longer serves me, as well as start with a fresh space for the new month. And I feel like my energy is very highly influenced by my environment. Most people's are. So that is why I do that. I need to be in a good environment to do well. I set intentions for the new month is by like planning, but also by saying affirmations. So I set intentions and say, this is gonna be a successful month. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make this much profit. I'm gonna be at this place with my self-concept. Josh and I are gonna do this. And I basically just affirm. So I sit down and I say my affirmations more than just at the beginning of the month, for sure. But going into it, I really have a big session where I really just set intentions and say, this month I am a boss babe. I am going to do this much. It's going to be amazing. Josh and I are going to do this. Like, really set intentions and not, I don't want to sit there and say, well, maybe this will happen. I want to take it and say, okay, this is happening. I also try to plan for them as well and say, okay, what can I do to make this come into fruition while also not forcing it. So I've been in a phase where I've been trying to flow instead of force because I have anxiety, so I try and force things a lot. But I've really been trying to change that and just force or flow thing. Words are hard, and make things flow into fruition. So forcing the 3D is something that with the law of assumption you aren't supposed to do. You can't try and force things into happening because you're letting off a desperate energy and you're not going to attract it with desperate energy. So I try to just set my intention and then sit back and let things flow a little bit more and just have fun, have a high frequency, and let the positivity flow, because I found that that works a lot better when I'm trying to manifest things. So I try and plan a big overall schedule or goal so that I know what to expect and kind of little things I can do while also not desperately forcing. The next thing that I do is let go of anything that no longer serves me physically and energetically. So I'm trying to think of a way that I have done this. If there's like something like, for example, if I no longer work for a company, I will take anything with their logo and kind of put it away. Or like with moving, I'm gonna be going through boxes. A lot of my sorority stuff are things that I don't really will be using every day but are still like sentimental to me. I'll probably put them in a box and put them away because that phase of my life is over. It's no longer serving me. But I do that every month and just say, okay, is this, you know, books that I keep on my nightstand, is this a book that I'm done with? Is this a book that I still resonate with? And if it doesn't, I put it away. Energetically speaking, I really just sit down and set an intention for what I am planning. And if there's anything that I really worked towards last month that I feel like is not going to translate over to the new month, or it no longer aligns with what I'm working towards, I just let that go, and I make sure that I don't hold on to that energetically because it no longer is serving me, and I just don't really need to hold on to that because I tend to get overstimulated energetic wise. I literally cannot talk today, and I don't want to keep doing that, so I try to preserve my energy as much as possible. I also regroup and plan for anything I want to bring into my life. So for example, I want to go on hot girl walks. I used to do it, and that was probably the happiest I was in my life, but I stopped when things got busy with grad school, so I wanted to bring that back in. So like the last 2 days, I've gone on hot girl walks and really established the baseline for what I want to do moving forward. I kind of try to get a kickstart on the things I want to do in the next month a couple of days prior so that I'm ready to go and just have a plan and I'm set up on the day of. And then I also, like I said, I'll plan it. So I'll set those benchmarks, any goals, write in my calendar what time I'm going to do it. Things like that where I want to bring it into my life and I want to be super intentional but still not force it. I'll say, okay, at this time I'm gonna go, or this is the place I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna bring this animal on this day, because I have a stroller for my bunny, so some days I'll bring them and then some days I'll bring the dog. So I'll kind of try and plan out the first week or two of what I'm gonna do, and just regroup and say, is this really what I want? If it is, how am I gonna do it? Is this too much on my plate for 1 month? Is this something I can achieve in 1 month? Anything like that. I also, my least favorite thing that I'm working on, so if you guys have any tips, I'm happy to hear them, but I budget and write the due dates of any bills in my calendar. So I write the due dates so that I can see them, but the budgeting is where I struggle. So there's a few things I'm trying to implement to make that better. But if anyone has any great budgeting plans, or they're really good at budgeting and they want to help a girl out, please, because I am not good at it. I have no self-control. Josh also has no self-control. Shout out to being Tauruses. So we need any help we can get when it comes to that. And lastly, I write any important dates in my calendar. So I give myself an overview of the month and I get excited for anything coming up. For example, I am cat sitting this week. So I will put in the calendar cat sitting the whole week. And then I will write Cleveland ? In case we do end up going to Cleveland, which I'll get really excited about. And, you know, I'll write those due dates. I'll write literally anything that doesn't happen every single day. So I'm not gonna write like feed dogs or anything like that, like super repetitious, or work. Like obviously I'm not gonna write that, but say like I want to get really pumped up about podcast episodes, then I'll put those on my calendar that month. Or if I want to get a specific content out, like I want to push this specific content out and it's something I've worked on for a really long time, I'll put that on there. So there's a lot of things that I do to get myself excited, but also to just kind of have an overview of if this is going to be a busier month, if it's going to be a slower month. I'll write like the first day of UK, because even though I'm graduated, a lot of my friends are seniors, so I like to know that, so that I know when they're busy, when they're coming, and so I can be mindful of their time and like not be texting them on their first day of class like, hey, let's go to coffee or something. So anything like that. Also, one of my friends is coming to town, I'll write that. Literally anything. There's just so much to do with your calendar and really make it your own. I have one that's like a handheld one that I'll write it in, but then I also have one that goes on my wall that I'll write it on as well. I feel like there's things that I'm missing, but this is a very brief overview of my monthly reset routine. I can definitely go into detail on the spiritual side versus the organizational side further. So if you want me to do like a monthly reset routine just dedicated to my affirmations, my intentions, resetting my energy, anything like that, I can definitely do that. I would love to. I just, like I mentioned, I don't want to do anything that you guys wouldn't be interested in, because at the end of the day, this is our community, not just mine. So definitely let me know. But other than that, I will have this episode up on Sunday, so it's gonna go up on the last day of July, just in time for you to implement some things and plan for your August. Like I mentioned, if you want to see my Pinterest boards or know how I do that Pinterest-wise, go ahead and check that out. If you guys want to subscribe / follow, rate, and review, I would really, really appreciate it. It helps out my content so much, and I would love to grow this community to even more girlies and just have a girl gang of so many supportive women who are all working to better ourselves. So if that's something that interests you, please join. I am probably most active on Instagram and TikTok, so that's where we have the most fun, but I would love your support in any way. I hope that you guys have a great Sunday or whatever day you are watching this. I love you so much, and let's kill it in August. Like, let's set the intention right now that we are going to be boss babes and absolutely kill the month of August. We are going to reach all of our goals, and we are going to leave it even better than how we entered it. So I think that that's it. Like I mentioned, I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you later. Bye.